first started out, when I first started out networking, I was a nervous wreck, and yeah, I'll share a little bit more about that. But the title for today's networking education is How to Get Along with Anyone. We all have our different personality types. I don't like to use all the technical terms. I like to use animals as personality types. I'm a golden retriever personality. That means I'm loyal, like to build relationships. Some people are beavers, they're very numbers oriented. Lions are the very strong, assertive types. And then you've got the otters, which are very fun loving, very social people. But regardless of your personality type, there are certain principles that you can follow that are just based on human nature and psychology that will enable you to get along with any personality type. So just this is one of the funny networking photos in my early days in business. So a little bit about me, see if you can relate to any of these. Natural introvert. I've got a very strong people pleaser aspect to my personality. Very awkward when you're in sales because you're always running the risk of rejection and potentially upsetting people. Uh, so yeah, maybe the wrong profession. But yeah, I was also the socially awkward kid growing up. So thankfully, I've grown beyond that social awkwardness and I've learned a thing or two, but I had to learn the hard way. And that's the good news for anybody who considers themselves not naturally sociable or whatever. There's good news for you. If I could do it, you certainly can as well. But just as a quick intro into how to earn people's trust, right? One of the first things that people are thinking about when you have a get fresh with them, when you meet with them one on one, they're thinking, can I trust this person? How do they evaluate that? There's three key factors plus one more: reliability, credibility, and intimacy. So basically, are you the type of person that comes across authoritatively? Do you keep your promises? Are you a nice kind of person? Are you a warm personality? But more importantly than all of these three is this thing called self orientation. All of the above can be perceived as manipulation if they get a sense that you're only in this for yourself. So how do we convey to other people that, hey, I'm all about you. I'm not here for my own benefit. I want to help you. I'm all about giving value to you. The first thing that you can do, very, very practical, is practice active listening. Hands up if you've heard of what active listening is. Yep. Okay. So most people, um, basically, active listening is about giving attention to the other person. So when you have a meetup with someone, a one-to-one, aim to spend two-thirds of the time talking about them and one-third talking about yourself. But then you may be wondering, let's just say we get two people from this room to meet together. How do you do two-thirds and two-thirds? Well, the wonderful magic happens here because then it becomes 50-50 because you're constantly trying to push the agenda back to each other. It's kind of like a ping pong match. But then you need to also listen with your whole body. So eye contact, all of the body language of listening. Don't allow any distractions. That gives the hint to the other person that, hey, I'm all about you. And finally, reflect back what you understood. So paraphrase back to the person if they have a certain goal. Oh, so your goal by the end of this year is uh, to grow the business by 50%, etc., etc. Okay, so active listening, absolute magic, one of the most effective human relation skills that you can have. The second thing is to find areas in common. So science shows us that people tend to trust and like people who are similar to themselves on criteria as superficial as just having the same name. So when I meet another Ben, we instantly have rapport. You meet someone who lives locally, rapport. It's just human psychology. Um, but when you find these areas, point it out. So the reason that I keep this background is because a lot of people point out the piano, and they say, "Oh, I play a musical instrument as well." So pointing out the points of commonality, whether it's values or other superficial things, is a way to establish rapport with people and to earn their trust. And finally, the most important one: give, give, give. Find ways to give. And the reason for this is that people generally want to repay kindness. So if you show kindness to them, they'll want to reciprocate. One of the things that I do at Get Freshes or one-to-one meetings is that I will share my knowledge and advice openly. I will not hold back. If the information will help them, I just share it. So your attitude should be the same way. Don't be protective about your ideas because ideas are cheap anyway. The ideas are everywhere. If what you can provide is of value to them, then just share it generously. And always offer to pay for coffee. We have this thing in Asian culture, right? I'm not sure if you've ever witnessed this before. When it comes to time to pay for the restaurant bill, the the aunties and the older generation will actually physically get physical about paying for the bill. They will push and shove each other to say no, let me pay. It's a spectacle to see. My mom's done it, aunties have done it. It's you got to be generous. Find ways to be generous. So lower your self orientation, find areas in common, and give.